In a grand and historic affair, Pope Leo XIV presided over his inaugural Mass in front of a huge crowd at the St. Peter's Square in the Vatican City.
The ceremony marks the installation of the American-born Pope Robert Prevost as the leader of 1.4 billion Catholics worldwide. Shortly after the Mass, the newly instated pontiff greeted leaders and heads of states from across over 150 nations.
Italian President Sergio Mattarella and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni were among the first in the line to be received by the Pope. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio were also in the receiving line, along with their wives.
U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance's presence at the event was notable. Vance had previously witnessed the end of the papacy of Pope Francis when he visited the pontiff shortly before his death. Now, less than a month later, Vance was present to witness the beginning of Pope Leo's papacy. The event also served as a venue of diplomacy where U.S.-Ukraine bonhomie stood out months after a high-friction political showdown in the Oval Office. Ukrainian President Zelensky was seen shaking hands with Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Zelensky was also seen shaking hands with Pope. The display of solidarity in Rome comes at the heels of the recently concluded peace talks brokered by Turkey. While a decisive response from Russia is awaited, Ukraine seemed to have the U.S. by its side, given a lackluster response from Russia. It is clear that the Ukrainian president has prominent leaders with him. Now, Europe's show of support to Zelensky was clear at the event.
Shortly after the meeting, Zelensky also met key European allies, including European Union President Ursula von der Leyen, and shortly later he sat beside her.
But later, Zelensky was seen greeting Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who has been vocal about her support for the war-torn nation.
With a clear message of peace from the Pope, the Vatican is now positioned to play a role in mediating peace between Ukraine and Russia. Earlier last week, Pope Leo had offered to host peace talks between Ukraine and Russia.
Eccola.